What if I told you your biggest wound isn't actually yours? What if the very thing keeping you stuck, desperate, and emotionally dependent isn't some external force, but something you've been carrying inside your chest like a loaded weapon pointed at your own heart? You've been lied to, not by others, by your own mind, by the voice that sounds like you but isn't you, by the programming that runs so deep you think it's your personality. This isn't a video you'll enjoy. This is gonna hurt. This is gonna make you uncomfortable. But it might be the one that changes your life. Because what I'm about to tell you will either wake you up, or you'll click away and pretend you never heard it. Most people choose the second option. That's why most people stay stuck. But you're still here. Which means part of you already knows. Part of you is ready to face what everyone else runs from. Here's the truth nobody wants to admit. Your mother isn't your problem anymore. She hasn't been your problem for years. Maybe decades. The real problem is the version of her that lives inside your head. The one that makes decisions for you. The one that whispers in your ear when you're about to take a risk. The one that keeps you small, keeps you safe, keeps you suffering. As a child, you were taught to look outward, to blame, to point fingers. And yes, many of you point straight at your mother. She didn't understand you. She couldn't give you what you needed. She was absent, or controlling, or critical, or weak. Maybe all of the above. But here's what nobody tells you. It's not her that still holds you back. It's the shadow of her in your psyche. It's the internalized mother that lives in your nervous system, in your reflexes, in the way you talk to yourself when nobody's watching. Carl Jung called it the mother complex. Not a person, not even a memory. It's an inherited structure, a voice that isn't yours, a void that demands to be filled, a prison with invisible bars. It formed before you had words to describe it, before you could think your way out of it. It was written into your body, your nervous system, your understanding of what love looks like, what safety feels like, what you deserve. You don't just remember your mother. You carry her inside you. Her fears became your fears. Her limitations became your ceiling. Her unhealed pain became the filter through which you see the world. And this is how it shows up in your life right now. Today in ways you probably don't even recognize. You need validation from strangers on the internet. You check your phone every 30 seconds looking for digital applause because somewhere inside, a child is still performing for mommy's attention. You're afraid to set boundaries because saying no feels like abandonment, and abandonment feels like death. So you say yes when you mean no. You give when you should receive. You shrink when you should expand. You choose partners who repeat the same patterns. The unavailable ones. The ones who need fixing, the ones who make you work for scraps of affection. Because that feels like home. That feels like love. That's what your nervous system recognizes as normal. You seek love that feels like repair, not connection. You're not looking for a partner. You're looking for a parent. Someone to finally give you what you never got. Someone to see you, choose you, prove that you matter. And when they don't, when they can't, when they inevitably fail to fill a void that was never their job to fill, you feel like a child again. Abandoned, rejected, unworthy. You feel like a child in an adult's body because part of you is still waiting, still hoping, still believing that if you just try hard enough, perform well enough, achieve enough, someone will finally give you permission to be okay. But here's the trap that keeps you stuck. Whether you idolize your mother or resent her, you're still trapped. Whether you think she's a saint or a monster, you're still letting her define your reality. You're not seeing her. You're seeing a myth, a story you tell yourself about who she was, what she did, what she didn't do. And that myth is making your decisions. That myth is running your life. The idealized version keeps you searching for that perfect love that doesn't exist. The demonized version keeps you afraid of becoming like her. But both versions keep you stuck in the past, reacting to ghosts instead of responding to reality. Every unmet need from childhood has a voice inside you. A part of you that's still 5 years old or 10 or 15, waiting to hear the words that never came. You're safe. I love you exactly as you are. You matter. You belong. You're enough. You've been waiting your whole life to hear those words from her, from someone, from anyone. But that moment is never coming. Not from her, not from anyone else. And that's where healing begins. Not when you finally get what you've been waiting for, but when you realize you're the only one who can give it to yourself. But first you have to understand the emotional contract you never knew you made. The unconscious loyalty that's been running your life from the shadows. Deep down, you believe that if you heal, you betray her. If you succeed where she failed, you're abandoning her. If you become happy, whole, complete, you're somehow proving that her suffering was unnecessary. So you stay stuck. You repeat her patterns. You carry her pain like a cross, hoping to prove your love by suffering the way she did. You make yourself small to make her feel big. You limit yourself to honor her limitations. But your pain doesn't honor her. Your struggle doesn't prove your loyalty. Your suffering doesn't demonstrate your love. It just prolongs the cycle. It just ensures that her wounds get passed down to the next generation. True love for your mother isn't staying small. It's not imitating her patterns or inheriting her fears. True love is evolution. True love is breaking the cycle. You owe her your healing, not your imitation. You owe her your growth, not your stagnation. You owe her your freedom, not your prison. Because the real enemy isn't your mother. The real enemy is emotional self-abandonment. The way you learn to ignore your own needs to survive. The way you learn to put everyone else first and yourself last. You learn to push through when you should rest. To smile when you wanted to cry. To be strong when you needed support. To perform when you needed acceptance. Now you treat yourself the way you were treated. You push when you should nurture. You silence when you should listen. You perform when you should simply be. You expect others to rescue you because you never learned to rescue yourself. But rescue will never come. Not the way you imagine it. Not from another person. Not from achievement. Not from external validation. Rescue will only come when it comes from you. This is where the work begins. Becoming the inner mother you never had. Learning to speak to yourself the way nobody ever did. When you're tired, you rest. Not when it's convenient. Not when you've earned it. Not when everyone else approves. When you're tired, you rest. When you're hurt, you soothe. You don't minimize, you don't push through, you don't pretend it doesn't matter. You acknowledge the pain, you hold space for it, you treat yourself with the tenderness you craved as a child. When your boundaries are crossed, you protect yourself. Not with rage, not with manipulation, not with passive aggression, with clarity, with firmness, with love for yourself that's stronger than your need to be liked. You set boundaries that protect your soul, not just your schedule. You say no to things that drain you and yes to things that feed you. You choose peace over people-pleasing, authenticity over approval, growth over comfort. But first, you have to dismantle the voice. The one that sounds like you but isn't you. The one that whispers the lies you learned so young you thought they were truth. You're not enough. That's not your voice. That's inherited programming. You're too late. That's not your wisdom. That's inherited fear. You don't deserve it. That's not your truth. That's inherited shame. That voice isn't yours. It was installed before you could choose. It was written by people who were writing from their own wounds, their own fears, their own limitations. Question it. Challenge it. Disarm it. Every time it speaks, ask, is this true? Is this mine? Does this serve my highest good? Most of the time, the answer will be no. Most of the time, you'll realize you've been letting someone else's fear run your life. This is how you start living from within instead of surviving from the past. This is how you stop looking for saviors and become your own home. You stop making decisions based on what happened to you and start making decisions based on what's possible for you. You stop reacting to old wounds and start responding to present opportunities. You don't look for someone to complete you because you understand that you were never incomplete. You were just convinced that you were. You were just taught to seek outside what was always available inside. When you can hold yourself through the pain, soothe yourself through the fear, and love yourself through the shame, something miraculous happens. You stop needing other people to be different than they are. You stop needing your mother to finally get it, to finally apologize, to finally give you what she never could. You can love her as she is, not as you needed her to be. You can forgive her not because she deserves it, but because you deserve peace. You can honor her humanity without sacrificing your own. This is the silent revolution that changes everything. Not the loud rebellion of adolescence, not the bitter resentment of victimhood, but the quiet strength of self-sovereignty. I am the end of the pattern. Not a slogan, not a hashtag, a declaration, a commitment, a promise to yourself and to the generations that come after you. When you heal your relationship with yourself, you heal your relationship with everyone else. When you stop abandoning yourself, you stop attracting people who abandon you. When you start treating yourself with love, you stop accepting treatment that isn't loving. This isn't about becoming perfect. This isn't about never feeling pain again. This is about changing your relationship to the pain. This is about becoming someone who can hold space for all of it, without losing yourself in it. The wounded child inside you doesn't need fixing. It needs witnessing. It needs acknowledgement. It needs someone to say, I see you. I hear you. What you went through mattered. What you needed was real. And I'm here now. That someone is you. Not the you that's been running from the pain, but the you that's willing to turn toward it with compassion. Not the you that's been trying to think your way out of feeling, but the you that's willing to feel your way into healing. This is deeper than positive thinking. This is deeper than affirmations and vision boards and manifest your destiny courses. This is about rewiring the nervous system. This is about changing the fundamental operating system of your psyche. Every time you choose self-compassion over self-criticism, you're rewiring. Every time you choose boundaries over people-pleasing, you're rewiring. Every time you choose presence over performance, you're rewiring. It takes time. It takes patience. It takes a willingness to mess up and start again. Because you're not just changing habits, you're changing identity. You're not just healing wounds. You're integrating parts of yourself that have been split off, rejected, exiled. The part of you that needs. The part of you that feels. The part of you that knows you deserve better than what you've been accepting. When these parts come home, when they're welcomed back into the wholeness of who you are, something shifts. The desperate seeking stops. The endless performing stops. The chronic emptiness stops. You become someone who can receive love without suspicion, give love without depletion, and be alone without loneliness. You become someone who can hold space for others without losing yourself, set boundaries without guilt, and pursue your dreams without sabotage. This is what's possible when you stop waiting for external validation and start cultivating internal validation. When you stop looking for your worth in achievements and start recognizing your worth as inherent. When you stop trying to earn love and start accepting that you are love. The mother wound isn't healed by getting what you never got from her. It's healed by giving yourself what you never got from anyone. It's healed by becoming the person you needed when you were small and scared and alone. That little one inside you is still there, still waiting, still hoping. And now you have the power to be everything they needed. You have the wisdom they didn't have access to. You have the resources they couldn't imagine. You can choose safety when the world feels dangerous. You can choose love when others choose fear. You can choose growth when others choose stagnation. You can choose healing when others choose to stay wounded. This is your inheritance, not the pain that was passed down to you, but the power to transform it. Not the limitations that were imposed on you, but the freedom to transcend them. Not the wounds that were inflicted on you, but the wisdom that comes from healing them. Every generation has the opportunity to heal what the previous generation couldn't. Every person has the power to be the one who breaks the cycle. Every moment offers the choice to respond differently than you were taught. You don't have to repeat the patterns. You don't have to carry the pain. You don't have to live from the wounds. You can choose healing. You can choose growth. You can choose love. You can choose freedom. But the choice is yours. Nobody can make it for you. Nobody can force it on you. Nobody can do the work for you. The invitation is here. The path is clear. The tools are available, but you have to pick them up. You have to take the first step. You have to be willing to feel what you've been avoiding, face what you've been denying, heal what you've been carrying. Are you ready? Are you willing? Are you done being held hostage by the past? Then write it down. Say it out loud. Make it real. I am the end of the pattern, not for the algorithm, not for anyone else. For you, for your freedom, for your future, for the part of you that has been waiting your whole life for someone to choose healing. Choose it now. Choose yourself now. Choose differently now, because you've seen what can't be unseen. You know what can't be unknown. The game has changed. The rules have shifted. The old ways of being don't work anymore. Go. Rebuild. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel ready. Not when conditions are perfect. Now your future self is waiting. Your inner child is counting on you. Your healing is the gift you give, not just to yourself, but to everyone whose life you touch. This is how the world changes. One person at a time, one choice at a time, one moment of courage at a time, and it starts with you. It starts with now. It starts with the decision to stop surviving and start thriving. To stop reacting and start creating. To stop waiting and start becoming. The pattern ends here. The cycle breaks now. The healing begins today. You are the one you've been waiting for. You always have been.